Hey fellas of YouTube, this is Robbie speaking, and that's right, you read the thumbnail, you saw the picture of the thumbnail, you see this photo right here, Bleach. Now I know I don't normally talk about like mainstream shows as as its own review video, like I don't like do say, oh, this is the One Piece review video, even though I love One Piece, or this is the Naruto review video, or the Demon Slayer review video. Like, I don't do that. Like, I like to focus on series that people don't talk about normally, but was a thing back then, like Yu Hakusho, or Ranma, or Inuyasha. But Bleach, because I rewatched Bleach for, of course I wanted to catch up on the 1,000-Year Blood War arc, because I was rewatching Bleach to refresh my memory, I knew I had to talk about this, though. I knew I had to talk about what made Bleach great, why people are hyping about this coming back. Now, of course, Bleach is not my first ever anime. My first animes were Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! There were some animes on Toonami like Dragon Ball, Yu Yu Hakusho. So Bleach was way later. And in between those animes and Bleach, I wasn't really watching other animes. Like, I just wasn't into anime yet. Until Toonami came back on Adult Swim, and they were premiering Bleach on Toonami, and this was what got me into anime for life. This was my first ever anime in a long time. So whether Bleach becomes one of my favorite animes or not, it holds that place in my life. What is this anime about? For those of you who don't know what this is, some of you may be like, okay, why are people hyping about Bleach coming back? Like, what's so special about it? Well, it was one of the big three back then with One Piece and Naruto. Like, everybody was talking about these three anime for Shonen Jump. But Bleach, some people say Bleach was the least popular of the big three. And even though I enjoy One Piece more, I still think Bleach stands out in a good way. And here's why. Bleach is about a kid named Ichigo Kurosaki. He was just a normal kid, and I'll talk about, Ichigo more later in this video when I talk about the characters. But one day he becomes a Soul Reaper, and what a Soul Reaper is that they fight these monsters called Howls. They try to protect innocent spirits to guide them to the afterlife. So basically, Soul Reapers are like Grim Reapers. Some people say this is similar to Yu Hakusho, which in some ways I see it a bit, but I also see it as more of its own thing and not a ripoff. Like, I see it as like sword fights, but with really insane power-ups. Bleach is pretty much your typical shonen, sort of. But the one thing, though, with the fights is that they're so well done. Like, they're so well animated. Like, this is where the animation shines the most. Bleach also has some really cool character designs. Like, the characters kind of look a bit more, I don't know if I would say more mature looking, but of course, you don't see these characters as immature looking. One Piece, of course, looks cartoony and wacky. Naruto, it's hard to say what Naruto actually looks like. Like, it's hard to say it. I mean, the character designs look okay in Naruto, but when you compare him to Bleach, Bleach just looks like these characters just look more unique and distinct. Like, say you're on Google Images and you're looking up anime characters, just random anime characters, and you come across some random background character in Bleach. You're gonna know right away that is Bleach. Like, when you look at a character from Bleach, you see it as Bleach. Now, of course, with Bleach, there is a lot of filler. This is a 366 episode anime, and it has so much filler, like hundreds of episodes of filler. And I'm not just talking about where, like, you have a filler story arc in between two canon story arcs. I'm also talking about where you're in the middle of a canon story arc, like, say, you're watching the Soul Society arc, you're enjoying it a lot, But then it gets interrupted by a filler episode. Like, say you have a filler episode where, oh, this is about that one supporting character. That's the type of filler I really, really despise. Though there was one story arc, this one filler story arc that I did like. The only reason why I watched it because it was on Toonami, so I was just watching it weekly. Plus, I didn't know it was filler. I didn't know what filler was. It was a pretty good story arc, though. I'll leave the caption for you guys so that way you guys know what I'm talking about. But, yeah. If you want to get through this anime a lot faster, skip the filler. The openings are pretty good as well. I do like the first opening, but my favorites are 12 and 13 because it gets you hyped for the upcoming fights with the Arachnoir. Now, because of how many characters there are in Bleach, like lots of characters, I'm only going to talk about a handful of them. The ones that are the most important to the story of Bleach. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, there are a lot of other characters in Bleach that I really enjoy, but it would make it a really long video if I talked about them all, like, in this video, so just the 7 that I'm going to talk about. And if you're someone who does not like a big cast of characters in your shonen, you're not going to like this. Like, you're not going to like this anime that much, so at least with these characters, they're not done dirty. They each have their own moment to shine, their own fights to win. Like, you really feel like this is not just the Ichigo show. We love Ichigo, don't get me wrong, but these other characters, it's fun to watch them kick ass. It's not like in Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super where all the characters except Goku and Vegeta don't matter. Let's start off with our main character, Ichigo Kurosaki. Now, when you compare Ichigo to a lot of other shonen characters, like say Luffy or Naruto, Ichigo's a lot different. He doesn't have big dreams. He's just a normal dude with powers. The only thing that he shares in common with those characters is that his desire to get stronger. But the reason why he's trying to get stronger is because he wants to protect his friends. It's not some insane goal like, oh, I'm going to be Soul King. And I'm not against characters who are going after their goals like Luffy trying to become Pirate King. I just like a break from that. I like it where you have a main character trying to do something different. Another thing about Ichigo Kurosaki is that he has a short temper. Not a major temper where he gets mad over the smallest matter, like say, oh, my milk spilled, so I gotta fight my wife. No, Ichigo is just more like, okay, this person messed with my sister, so I'm going to go over to him and kick his ass. Like, that's the type of fighter Ichigo is, and we respect him for that. But where did Ichigo get his powers from, or who did he get them from? Rukia Kuchiki. I love her so much. Even after she gives her powers to Ichigo, she's still fun because she's trying to adapt into the human world. She can't go back to where she came from in the Soul Society, so she has to stay behind and help guide Ichigo into being a Soul Reaper. But another thing about another thing about Rukia is how she tries to adapt into the human world. Like, she really adapts so well that Ichigo's other friends really like her. Like, they really see the joy that she is giving to them. Then you have my favorite character, and that is Renji Abara. He's kind of like a rival to Ichigo, like how Goku has Vegeta. But what's different about Renji is that he's not a major asshole. He's not like, oh, Ichigo, I'm gonna beat you, and I hate you. Though they do start off as enemies, minor spoilers, but something happens later where they become allies and friendly rivals. So Renji just becomes like this rival where he's just like, okay, Ichigo, you know, I like you, man. You seem like a good dude, but I'm still gonna beat you. Like, I'm gonna beat you. Just to let you know. But then you have Orihime, who people don't like. A lot of people don't like Orihime, but personally, I don't mind her. In fact, I like her. She can be funny at times, but I also see her a bit useful. She has the power to heal people. Like, she's like a living sensu bean. But all jokes aside, though, like, she's the one that heals Ichigo's wounds just so he can take on another bad guy. You then have Ooey, who is not a Soul Reaper, but is a Quincy. Basically, he uses spirit energy to use a bow and arrow instead of a sword like a Soul Reaper. Then you have Chad, who is pretty much the chillest character on this show. He's just that type of character that you can get along with. He won't argue with you. You can just relax with him. He's just a really good dude. But he's also really strong as well. He is pretty much similar to Ooey and Orihime, where they're not Soul Reapers, but they're pretty useful. Chad has this, it's hard to explain, but he has this arm that he can transform to hit a howl. If you want to avoid spoilers, I would suggest skipping to this part. Like, just fast forward to this part, because we're going to talk about a character that is pretty spoiler heavy. 3, 2, 1. You've been warned. Eisen. Whenever people think of the best shonen villain, they either think of Frieza or Eisen. And for a very good reason, because I love Eisen. I think Eisen is a great villain. I've loved him since the Soul Society arc, when he kind of started off as a good guy, and then the whole arc with the Arachnoir and everything. Eisen is very intimidating because he's like the One Punch Man of this series, where he can't get taken down. He's like One Punch Man on the side of evil. Like, he just one-shots everybody. Like, how's Ichigo gonna take down this guy? Like, because he just sends shivers down your spine. Like, that's the type of villain Eisen is. You don't know his motivation. You don't know what he's truly fighting for. You just know that whatever he's doing is impacting the rest of the characters in a bad way, and they have to stop him no matter what the cost is. One of the things that frustrated me about Bleach was that it ended too soon. Now, I did like the Fullbring arc, it's just that that's not how you end the series. There's still questions that have to be answered, and here's the 1,000-Year Blood War arc. That's why I'm super excited for this, and also to see some really cool fights, to see some of my favorite characters again. I'm excited to see it all. Because I never read the manga to Bleach, this is all feeling fresh to me. I'm going this thing blindly, and I like that. I like that I get to have that experience with Bleach again. Just this one last time. I was 17 when I got into Bleach, and this is a good way to celebrate that 10-year anniversary of getting into Bleach. If I were to rate Bleach right now, it would be a 9 out of 10, but I'm going to wait until after this story arc is done. Then I do the review video and give you the rating right there. There were some flaws that I had with Bleach earlier, but I feel like if I go over more of those flaws, it would be spoiler territory. So, because there were some things in Bleach that I did not like things that happened that I did not like, but just a few things. I also want to know your opinion. What do you think of Bleach? Do you like it? Do you not? Do you love it? Are you excited for the upcoming story arc to see it end the way it should? Or are you not? Let me know your thoughts down below. And if you're new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe, so that way you get more videos like this every time I upload. Thanks for watching. I'm Rob A, and may the anime force be with you.